Good morning and welcome to VSA 5-minute morning miner. It's Monday, the 15th of August, mid-August, literally. And it was a hot weekend. How was your weekend, Paul?
Yes, I thought it was hot too. Yes, indeed.
We didn't just think it, it was. Fact. Anyway, let's crack on with a bit of mining news. Actually, just before we do that, I was looking at the vanadium price. The vanadium price has been sneaking off a little bit. It's down to about almost $7 again, Paul. I think that could be because Shell and Saudi Aramco announced the other day they were going to basically have a joint venture making vanadium pentoxide from the oil sludge, etc. I mean, if they do that, that will be an awful lot of vanadium being produced, and it will put a lot of weakness into the vanadium price, I would have thought. I don't know if you spotted that.
I didn't spot it, but I'll be interested to see if they can scale it at this point, because if they can produce a significant amount, it should bring down the cost of vanadium redox battery deployment. So I'm not disappointed by that, actually.
No, I'm not disappointed at all, but not so good for the vanadium mining companies. Anyway, right, let's get on to news today. I suspect you want to start with East Star Resources because you rather like it at the moment, don't you?
Yes, I do. And they're expanding the licenses they hold in Kazakhstan. This time they announced 3 new licenses consisting of 55 blocks on the Rudny Altai VMS belt in Kazakhstan. These licenses 111 square kilometers and are contiguous with the existing ones that they already have, but these new ones also include 2 historic high-grade copper, lead, zinc mines on them. So ready-made targets for drilling there, since I suspect these deposits haven't been explored properly under modern exploration techniques, and probably haven't been in production either for several decades. But we'll know more as we get further into the studies here.
I'm sure you'll be keeping us in touch. Let's move from Kazakhstan to Tajikistan, where Vast Resources got an opening ceremony, I think.
Yes, they did. They've got an interest in a mine processing project called Takob there in Tajikistan, and they had an official opening ceremony today. It is something that they've talked about in the prior press releases back on the 3rd, the 24th, and the 30th. So I'll just direct people to their website to look those up specifically, but it's they've got a 12.5% royalty interest on non-ferrous concentrates and any other metals. So if this thing gets going into steady state production, the key point is it should help awful lot in supporting the fixed cost for Vast Resources by collecting royalties.
Okay, and let's also talk about one of our corporate clients who had an update this morning, Caracal Gold.
Caracal Gold, also the Tanzania gold producer on the Kalima Pesa operating gold mine there in Kenya. A lot of repeat of previous press statements that they've made over the past quarter here, but it's nice to see also the statements on the production numbers coming back from Kalima Pesa here. 21,000 tons of ore grading 1.84 grams delivered to the plant. That is down on the previous quarter, but is part of the plan, as they had been moving things around strategically, first of all, in order to get the tailings operation running, of which they had 20,500 tons delivered to the heap leach plant, which were tailings. So a total of 58,000 tons processed through plants, which produced 746 ounces during the quarter. The closing stockpile at the plant was 2,200 tons, which is essentially flat from what it was in the first quarter. And the heap leach had 16,000 tons on the pad at a grade of about 1.5 grams. And recoveries so far about 49%, which you would hope to get that up into the 50 to 60% range with enough leaching time on there. So not looking too bad. It was going to be a down quarter anyway because of the mine planning going on there. But they have really significantly increased measured and indicated resources there at the operation. So there's pretty good continuity for at least a 10-year mine life now.
Very good. Also, we've had an update from Tirupati Graphite in Madagascar.
Yes, that's an interesting one. Talking about both the Vatomina current operation as well as trying to get the Sahemimi new plant up and running. First of all, with Sahemimi, they are still targeting next month as the start date for production from Sahemimi. On Tirupati, they are making configuration changes on the plant and operations at Vatomina because of the high cost of diesel. And so they have chosen to move the front end of the Vatomina plant, which is the crushing and sorting portion of the plant, to the pit site itself. And then they will therefore not have to move about a 250,000 tons a year of waste material over to the plant site, and instead will pump a concentrate then from the pit itself over to the plant in order to help save on those road maintenance and trucking costs.
I also see whizzing all around the world, Paul, in Indonesia, they're revoking a lot of licenses at the moment. I guess these are just licenses that people aren't using, so it's only fair.
Yes, they announced this back on Thursday, Friday period that the Indonesian investment minister had revoked about 2,000 existing mining permits across various minerals. And as I say, it represents a pretty good chunk of land here, 2,065 permits on over more than 3 million hectares. So it appears that a lot of people had been holding on to land more or less as land speculation, but not otherwise doing much with the ground as far as trying to find or develop mineral resources. So the government essentially cleaning up its act here in order to get a better people more concerned about actually producing revenues for the government into these permits, because they will reallocate these permits to new holders.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, mining in Indonesia is well known to be quite tricky, with government potentially changing their minds on things. Any other companies you want to mention this morning, Paul?
Just a quick statement that it is very profitable right now to produce fossil fuels, including the dirty fossil fuels for thermal coal mines. Thungela Resources, the coal spin out from Anglo American a couple of years back now, which operates in South Africa with record revenues.
Yeah, well, there's a massive energy crisis, so not a total surprise. All right, let's call it a day there, Paul, and we'll speak again tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you.